Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How are you today? So, I've been having a lot of fun and been getting a ton of feedback about my book, Lioness. And I've been reading excerpts from it just to kind of like set the stage and get everybody, oh my gosh, look at my hair today, and get everybody talking about it. So I've told you guys, it's the story of Martha and Leona, two moms, a parable of two moms, both great humans. But one of them, Martha's the play it safe mom. She doesn't like to stand up. She doesn't like controversy. She's go with the flow gal. Leona's the one who's ready to fight every war, fight every battle. And the premise of the book is the fact that as women, we go in and out of Martha and Leona. Okay. Nobody is Martha or Leona 100% of the time. That doesn't happen. So what happens is that we go in and out of it. But I believe, and the reason I wrote the book is because I believe that the state of the culture today, we as women have to come into our Leona moments because it's time to fight. It's time to fight for our children, our grandchildren, for the freedom of our country, right? All of it. All of it. And so that's why the book is there. That's why the book's written. And so I tell stories, and I've got, I think, 39 women in it now. And some of them are super famous and super influential. And some of them are just ordinary women doing extraordinary things. And today I want to read you part of the book. There's a young woman that I have met up here in Belton, Texas, and she immigrated from China. And I love Chen Su. She's a friend of my daughter's, and you look up, I'm an entrepreneur in the dictionary, and it's Chen Su. She has got the hustle. She has got the drive. She loves the country. Immediately she saw the opportunity of living in America. So if you guys will stick with me or share this out, I'm going to read to you from the book Lioness. I'm going to read to you Chen Su Lu's story. All right. She's on page 63, by the way, of the book. At least it's 63 right now. We're going through final edits, but the subtitle is The Dream Builders Among Us. Whenever someone tells me that the American dream is fading, I think of a woman whose story embodies everything our founders prayed this nation would one day make possible. Her name is Chen Su Lu. And before I tell you what she built, let me tell you why her story matters. The American dream is the promise of freedom written into our founding documents, our Declaration, which declares that every person is endowed by God with unalienable rights. Boy, that's a big word. And our Constitution, which protects the space for those rights to flourish. The dream is the idea that your birth does not define your destiny, that effort can still open doors, and that a single courageous step can alter the entire trajectory of a family. But that promise does not activate itself. A nation can offer opportunity, but only a person can receive it. And receiving it always requires courage. And this is where Chen Su's story begins. This remarkable lioness arrived from China in 2010 after taking a leap of faith across the ocean to marry a man she met on Skype. She spoke limited English. She had no connections, no roadmap, and no guarantees. What she did have was an unmatched work ethic, a quiet, relentless, no excuses work ethic. And here's what strikes me most about her. Life in her native country had taught her to expect limits, to move cautiously, to stay small for safety. This was the conditioning of a system that clips wings before they're ever fully open. But once her feet touched American soil, everything changed. Freedom awakened something fierce in her, something intuitive, something that had been waiting for oxygen. She recognized opportunity the way a lioness recognizes open ground, as a place to run, to build, to rise. She started at the bottom, assembling products in a Virginia warehouse, learning her new country one day, one paycheck at a time. Then came promotions, new responsibilities, and a growing sense that America wasn't just where she lived, it was where she could create. In 2018, she visited Austin, Texas, and as she drove past the cranes stretching into the sky, she felt something stir inside of her. This place is where things are always being built, she said, and I want to build something here too. So she did. She launched Little Sprouts Playland right here excuse me, she launched Little Sprouts Playland as the world shut down for COVID. Businesses were closing their doors, yet her dream stayed open. Families came, the children laughed, community formed, her courage created a space for joy in a season of fear. 3 years later, she raised her right hand and became an American citizen. Tears streamed down her face. Like, I love these stories, y'all, because they matter. There are so many people that are born American. This is not in the book. This is me paraphrasing. That are born American and they spit on it. And you've got someone like my friend Chen Su, who did whatever she could do to become an American. Okay, let me get back to the book. See, I talk about raising hands and American citizenship, and I cry. I cry at the national anthem. That's why I wrote the book. I love my country. So let me go back. 3 years later, she raised her right hand and became an American citizen. Tears streamed down her face as she told me, in China, I could have opened a business, but not like this. Here, people want you to succeed. Opportunity isn't just possible, it's welcomed. This is the American dream. Not guaranteed comfort, but guaranteed possibility. Not effortless success, but the freedom to try, to build, to rise. Chen Su received the promise written into the founding documents, and then she did her part. She worked, she built, she believed, she turned freedom into a future. Whenever someone says the American dream is dead, I think of her, and I think the dream isn't dying, it's waiting. It's waiting for more people with courage to claim it, to cultivate it, and to build something that wasn't possible anywhere else on earth. Chen Su's story reminds us the American dream is alive whenever freedom is met with courage and work. Sometimes that dream looks like a small business that becomes a gathering place for families. Sometimes it looks like stability, ownership, and the quiet dignity of building something from nothing. But the dream does not call builders of businesses. It calls for builders of people, systems, and nations. Some women come to America not only to create opportunity for their own families, but to confront broken structures, develop leaders, and shape the moral and civic framework of communities. When Chen Su saw open ground to build, where Chen Su saw open ground to build, others see responsibility to repair, strengthen, and lead at scale. That kind of calling requires vision, discipline, and a willingness to encourage complexity rather than avoid it. I love Chen Su. She's young. She's she's funny. She's imaginative. She is a hustler. I mean, I run stuff past her all the time because she's in that space in life that she wants to live the American dream. So I wanted to get on today. I know I've talked to you guys the last few days about Leona and Martha and what the premise of the book is. I've got a lot of famous people in the book. I've got a lot of big people in the book. But, to me, Chen Su's story was just as important as Laura Trump's story, just as important. Okay. And that's what it is to be an American. That's what it is to live in this country. But lionesses, let me tell you this. If we don't stand up, if we don't take control of the culture, if we don't take back what the world is trying to take from us, we're not gonna have stories like Chen Su's anymore. We're not. And so that's why this book is there. So Chen Su's story is going to be on page 62, just so you know. And so I'm going to be hopping around in the book. I got off the phone with my publisher this morning. We're super excited. We just got another Bristol. We love Chen Su. We do love Chen Su. We just got another big idea, for lack of a better word. I'll just leave it there. And so as this book continues to materialize, and I told him this morning, he's my writer also, I told him this morning, I said, me reading this book out loud has done so much for me, just to do these little excerpts of my stories in the books. And then I go back and I listen to it over and over and over again. So just know I'm going to listen to this segment 100 times and I'm going to rip it apart. I'm going to say, no, I like how that landed, but I don't like how that landed. And so that's why you're going to see these for the next 30 days, because I need to hear it out loud. I need other people to hear it. I need people to send me notes. I got a great note yesterday. I guess it was great. But I said yesterday, I said, there's going to be people that hate watch this. I got people that hate watch me, period, because they don't like my politics. They don't like what I say. They don't like, anyways, whatever. But this gal sent me a note. And we've been connected for many, many years. We are very, very different. ideology. Our ideology is different. Yeah, she's a good human. She knows I'm a good human. She literally sent me a note and she said, she laughed and she said, I laughed so hard. She goes, I watch all of your videos. I never thought of it as hate watching. She's like, I don't hate you. She goes, I respect you a lot. I actually like you, but I hate some of the stuff you say. I hate Donald Trump, like all of it, blah, blah, blah. And she said, but you know what? Number one, I'm going to buy your book. And number two, I appreciate the fact that at the end you said, I don't hate you, like to the people that might be hate watching or like, oh, what's she have to say now? Whatever. I mean, it isn't about that. It's about us coming together and it's about us creating a culture that our kids can win, our grandkids can win. And, I wrote this book primarily for women over 50 years old, because I think that's where we get our power. That's where we get our influence. Women over 50 end up, a lot of times they retreat, they step back, they're starting to retire, but now we've got these grandkids we got to pour into, our kids are still struggling on things sometimes. And so, this is where I think we have our most power and our most influence. But if we don't use that power and that influence to change the culture, to change the schools, to change the communities, to stand up for what's right, to stand up for American values, we're going to look 20 years from now and we're not going to recognize our country. We're not going to recognize the country that makes me cry when I tell the stories of people like Chen Su. Like I can still cry because I love those stories. That's one of the reasons I love my country so much, because I have seen so many people do so much. And what's interesting, many of my friends that have done so much are my friends that are immigrants. All right. They're the ones who come here and they get it. And I've got a couple other stories in the book about good friends of mine that are immigrants, and they've come here and they've done big things. And they've done it because they are so grateful to be able to come to a country where anything is possible, right? Because it wasn't possible in their country. That's why they immigrated. That's why they came here. Oh, Chen Su, look, you guys, Chen Su just jumped on. Meet me at page 62. That's right, girl. I texted her and my daughter. I said, hey, I'm going to be reading Chen Su's story live on Facebook. Anyways, and so I'm sorry, Chen Su, I'm like, but those are the stories, right? Those are the stories that I want people to read. I want people that are discouraged to read. I want them to say, if Chen Su can do it, I can do it. I mean, Chen Su started in China in a village, right? Chen Su, just give me some comments in there. She was in a village in China. She got her degree in China. She's the smartest chick we know. We love Chen Su. But she came here not knowing the language, and she's built a really successful business, her Little Sprouts business, and she's got several other little side hustles. And now I'm trying to convince her that it's time for her to become a big property owner. Oh, and there's my daughter jumping on. I'm here, and her story is one of my favorites. I look up to her hustle, her perseverance, creativity, and now generosity in our community. Yeah, Chen Su's one in a million. I am telling you guys, what has frustrated me over the years is when somebody pops off to me. They were born in this country. They had got it all. They got their education. They got everything. They're like, I hate America. I hate America. I would leave this country if I could. Okay, then bye. Give me a legal immigrant any day of the week. And I have so many people that I know, good friends, but also people that I know that have done phenomenal things. And they've come here for one reason and one reason only. They have left family. They have left friends. They've left everything they've known. They've put everything they have on the line. They've got courage. They've got heart to come to the land of opportunity, which is America. Okay. And we have Americans out there that just want to, I don't want to live in America anymore. There's 100 reasons, guys, why I wrote this book, but that's one of them. So if you hate America, you're going to absolutely hate my book. Don't even buy it. I won't even ask you to. You will not like it. And again, it's a parable of two moms, right? So Chen Su is a Leona. She's a lioness. I've never seen Chen Su as a Martha. I've never seen her as that. I've never seen her as somebody who just stands back and is quiet. But maybe she is, because, we don't, and I'm not with Chen Su every day, but I see her as a lioness, because anyone that has the courage to come to America and not know the language and start at the bottom and live the American dream and take the chances, come here legally, do the work, become a citizen. I mean, that's what America was founded for. That's what America was built on. And anyway, so Chen Su, I'm super proud to tell your story in the book. I hope you like it. Um, and if you didn't see it from the beginning, you can jump on and listen to what we wrote about you. But anyways, all right, guys, more to come tomorrow. I don't know what story I'm going to tell tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, or which one of my people I'm going to read the story tomorrow. But anyways, it's just like I said, I'm doing this for me more than for you, just so I can listen to it and see how it lands. And it needs to land for me, right? And how it lands for you. So I'd love your comments, what you guys think, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, Chen Su. Thanks for playing.